Mom slid the sheet cake onto the kitchen island like it was nothing. White frosting, purple flowers, a glitter crown stuck in the corner. 2 days earlier on the phone, she'd said, "We're canceling your daughter's birthday party. Your niece is sick. We can't celebrate when she's suffering. Emma had a cold." Now, at Sunday dinner, the cake had a smear where Maya used to be. Someone had frosted over it and piped, "Get well, Emma," in shaky blue loops. Maya stood on her tiptoes to see. She's 8, small for her age, quiet when she's nervous. She reached for the little crown because it was the same crown she'd picked out at the bakery with me. My sister Leah's hand shot out faster. "That's for Emma now," Leah said. "We're not doing birthdays today." Maya froze. She tucked her hand back like she'd almost touched a stove. "We can't celebrate when your cousin is sick," Mom said, like that was some moral rule she had always kept. She pulled the candles out of a drawer, then put them back. "We'll sing when she's better." The cousins crowded in. Leah handed my other niece and nephew matching boxes to bring to Emma later. "Take these to cheer her up," she told them. They cheered. Someone snapped a photo. The flash made Mia blink. On the end of the island sat a crate with the party favors I dropped off yesterday, just in case we still did cake for Maya after dinner. Glitter bracelets, rainbow stickers, little socks with grippy stars for the trampoline park. Mom tapped the lid. "We'll save these," she said, "for when Emma feels better." Maya looked at me. She didn't cry. She chewed her bottom lip and nodded like she accepted a rule of the house. I felt the back of my throat go tight. My hands shook under the table. Evan, my husband, squeezed my knee. "Don't explode," his thumb said. "Not here." Leah cut big squares of the cake and slid one toward Maya. "You can have a piece," she said, "but no candles. Okay?" "Okay," Maya whispered. She lifted the fork with both hands. I watched her pretend not to notice her own name scraped off under a mess of blue frosting. I smiled like my face knew how. I tasted metal. I should have known, I thought. I should have read the signs a long time ago. This wasn't about cake. I'm Donna, 39, Austin, Texas, lawyer. I co-own a small family law practice on Guadalupe, married to Evan, a middle school science teacher. We have one kid, Maya, who draws birds on every envelope in our house. We live in a yellow bungalow with a squeaky gate and a dog named Pepper, who loves socks. I'm the responsible one in my family. That's a compliment until it's a job. For years, I've sent my parents $250 every Friday into a family fund checking account we set up after Dad retired from the plant. I put their electricity and water on my auto pay because Mom kept forgetting the passwords. Last month, my bank statement showed $327.19 to Austin Energy and $61.3 to the water utility, with their address on it. The month before, Dad's truck needed new tires. I put $1,100 on my card. I've paid for a $7,800 roof patch after a hailstorm, a $1,100 water heater, and $2,400 when Leah's ER visit turned into an insurance nightmare. I bought my nieces, from Grandma and Grandpa, iPads at Christmas because Mom wanted a wow gift. I Venmo'd Leah $320 for school supplies, and then saw a Peloton charge on my AMX I didn't recognize. "Oops," she said. "We'll get you back." They never got me back. Money is easier for me than for them. I grew up watching overdrag fees. I don't mind helping. But help turned into expectation. Expectation turned into a habit. Habit turned into a leash. Meanwhile, Maya became an afterthought in rooms where my money didn't make her louder. At Christmas last year, Mom forgot to hang a stocking for Maya. She handed her a plastic bag of candy and said, "We haven't gotten your glitter letters yet, honey." Leah's kids had monogrammed velvet stockings and matching pajamas for their photo. At Easter, the boys had huge baskets with their names stitched across the fronts. Maya had a Dollar General bucket with a peeling bunny sticker. "She's simple," Mom said, like that was her brand. At Aunt Carol's 70th, and they played a slideshow of our family through the years. Leah sent in 25 photos. I had emailed 6 of Maya. None of those made it. After, Mom shrugged. We didn't have a good picture of her, she said. Maya had been sitting right there in a new dress with a bow she picked herself. She ducked her head when everyone clapped for the grandkids. Last summer at the water park, I paid for cousins' day passes, $540 for 8 kids, so Mom could post about making memories. They got matching shirts for the picture. Maya went to the bathroom and came back to find the photo posted without her. We'll take another later, Leah said. They didn't. At dinner after, Leah teased Mia for not liking spicy queso. She's sensitive, she said, like that was a flaw. Everyone laughed. Mia laughed too, the way quiet kids do when they know how to survive a room. They had been pushing since I drew one small line last year. I refused to add Leah as an authorized user on my AMX after the Peloton thing. You're a lawyer. Money isn't real to you. It is. I work 12 hours sometimes. I save. I keep a spreadsheet. I buy caps and gowns for my clients' kids because their parents are too fried to remember. I know the price of everything and the cost of everything. When I started planning Maya's 8th birthday, I thought, quietly, maybe we could do it right. She loves trampolines. The noise and chaos make her flinch, so I booked a sensory-friendly hour at the start. The facility offered a whole building buyout on weekends. It was stupid expensive. We could manage it. I put down a $1,000 deposit. The invoice estimate set at $13,800 plus tax and service fees for a 3-hour window. Pizza, drinks, socks, and 2 extra staff. With tip, we'd land near $15,000. It felt extravagant and also like a way to give her one day where she didn't have to squeeze herself small. Mom hated the idea. We'll do it at our house, she said, cake in the backyard. Save your money, we'll decorate. It'll be more family. I told her we'd consider it. I ordered a unicorn cake anyway, with Maya piped in purple, because I know how we'll decorate turned into paper plates and my niece blowing out the candles while everyone clapped. Then, 2 days before the party, Mom called. We're canceling your daughter's birthday party, she said. Like it was her meeting to cancel. Your niece is sick. We can't celebrate when she's suffering. Emma had a runny nose and a low fever. I could hear cartoons in the background. I understand, I said, because Maya was next to me doing homework, and I didn't want a scene she would have to clean up with her tiny hands. I hung up. I told Evan after bedtime, "It's fine." I lied. Family first. And then we went to Sunday dinner and watched my mother turn my kid's name into a get-well banner with a butter knife. It wasn't about one cake. It wasn't about a cold. It was about where my child stood in a family I was paying to keep standing. After dinner, after we got Maya home and into bed, and after she whispered, "It's okay, Mommy. We can sing another day," I sat on our couch staring at the ceiling. Pepper sighed at my feet. Evan leaned against the arm of the couch and waited. "You don't have to be the hero in their movie," he said finally. "I'm not the hero," I said. "I'm the ATM that always has cash." He rubbed his face. "Then stop. It sounded too simple. It also sounded like oxygen." I reached for my laptop and opened the trampoline park portal. The deposit had sat there for weeks, like a dare. My mouse hovered over Modify. I clicked. The system let me upgrade to a full facility buyout for Saturday from 2 to 5:00 p.m. with a sensory-friendly first hour. I added an extra staff member for crowd control, extra pizza, fruit trays, and those ridiculous neon socks for everyone. The total, with tax and service charge and a 20% tip, came to $15.32.5. It wasn't about showing off. It was about building a fence around a day and saying, "This is yours." I entered my card. The confirmation screen popped up with a cheery, "See you Saturday." I stared at the check mark until my eyes blurred. I didn't invite anyone from Mom's side. In the family group chat I typed, "Because Emma is sick, we'll keep Saturday small, just classmates. Hope she feels better soon." Then I closed the chat. Evan texted the class parent list, the updated details, and the waiver link. Sensory Friendlin hour, 2 to 3, for anyone who needs it. Pizza at 3:15. Please, RSVP by Friday. He added a smiley face. My cousin Tasha from Dad's side saw a photo I posted of Maya trying on her birthday crown earlier in the week and DM'd me. Are we still on for Saturday? I can bring my teen to help wrangle kids if needed. I said, yes, please. She said, we'll be there. No drama. Then I did the one clean thing I had to do for myself. I pulled the binder from our hall closet with the tab that said, family. In it was the contract for the lake house I'd booked in March, for the whole family. We'd done it every July since I started making money. I'd put down a $6,000 deposit for a 4-bedroom room on Lake LBJ, plus linens and cleaning. It made my chest tight to look at it. I called the number on the contract. Lakeside Escapes, a woman said. I need to cancel my reservation for the week of July 10th, I said. She pulled it up. There's a 10% fee on cancellations within 90 days, she said. So, you'll get $5,400 back. That's fine, I said. Please, email the confirmation. I hung up and watched the email hit my inbox. I forwarded it to the family chat with one line. We won't be doing the Lake Week this year. Refund will go back to my card. Please, make your own plans. I opened the Google Calendar and deleted the event. I removed the shared doc from the family folder. I took a breath that felt like I hadn't taken one in years. No lecture, no list of grievances, just a lever pulled. Saturday came. We got to the trampoline park early. The manager handed me a walkie. You're Donna, right? We've got you all set. The music was low for the first hour. The lights were softer. Maya walked in holding her crown and stopped dead. Is this all mine? She asked. For 3 whole hours, I said. She looked at me like she finally believed me. Her classmates ran in with their socks pulled over their leggings, hair flying. Evan checked waivers at the door, because he's that guy. Tasha's teen, Marcus, became instantly cool to every 8-year-old and lined them up for obstacle courses. Pepper couldn't come, but a staff member had a bulldog sticker sheet and gave her 3 sheets for later. The pizza was greasy and perfect. We sang Happy Birthday at 3:10. Maya closed her eyes and made a wish. She didn't tell me what it was. She didn't have to. Evan posted 2 photos afterward. Maya midair, her hair out of its clip laughing, and the cake with her name spelled right this time, purple and proud. He tagged the location because he's not a covert person. My phone started buzzing halfway through cleanup. I turned it face down and shoved it under a stack of napkins. We loaded gifts into the trunk. The car smelt like sugar and rubber. Maya fell asleep, holding a stuffed llama from one of her friends. I drove home with both hands at 10 and 2, like I was carrying glass. When Maya was asleep and the living room was a maze of tissue paper, I picked up my phone. 4 missed calls from Mom, 6 from Leah, 23 unread texts in the family chat. Mom, so you had $15,000 for trampolines, but not for your family at the lake. Wow. Leah, you excluded us and humiliated Emma when she saw the photos. She cried. Mom again. We were protecting your niece. You're vindictive. Evan is putting these ideas in your head. An aunt I barely talked to chimed in. We could have sung to both girls when she felt better. You're making this ugly. I put the phone screen down again. Evan handed me a glass of water. Don't answer tonight, he said. In the morning there was a knock. I checked the camera. Leah, I didn't open the door. I texted, please call, before coming over. She called immediately. You're being dramatic, she said, without hello. Emma had a fever, and you threw a party to show us up. I threw Maya a party on her birthday. You candled it, so I uncanceled it. You didn't have to cancel the lake. That's punishment. I candled something I pay for, I said, keeping my voice even. I'm not paying for group events this year. You're spiteful. I'm her mother, I said, and I won't fund a family my kid isn't part of. She was quiet for a second. So, you're really doing this? You're turning your back on us? For what? Because I said no candles for a day. Then, before I could answer, you've changed since you became some big-shot lawyer. I've been the same person. I'm just not your backup bank anymore. I didn't wait for the next insult. I have to go. I hung up. Mom called later. Let's talk like adults. Okay, I said, and suggested a diner halfway between us. She brought Dad. They sat across from me in a booth that had a rip in it and a patch of duct tape. Dad ordered coffee. Mom ordered nothing. This isn't you, Mom started. You're letting money make you hard. I looked at the sugar caddy so I wouldn't look at her. Money has made it too easy for you to ignore my child, I said. Dad frowned. That's harsh. She didn't have a stocking at your house. You took her name off a cake. You posted pictures without her. She's 8. She notices. Mom's face got tight. We would have done her party when Emma felt better. You know how close those girls are. They're not close, I said quietly. They're polite to each other. That's not the same. Dad sipped his coffee. Family sacrifices. I agree. That's why I've paid for roofs and tires and holidays. I'm not doing that this year. That's the sacrifice I'm making for my kid. I'm giving up being the person you can lean on whenever you want. I can't keep asking Maya to be flexible when she's the one getting erased. Mom's eyes filled. We were just trying to be fair. To who? Not to her. We sat in silence. The server topped off Dad's cup. I put a 20 under my plate and stood up. You're welcome at our house when you're ready to celebrate her, not just use my card. The lake is canceled. I'm not paying for group events. That's all. When I got home, there was a text from my cousin Tasha in the family chat. I love y'all. But canceling an 8-year-old's party because another kid has a cold was harsh. Maya is a person. Let's not pretend this was normal. No one responded to her either. Leah stopped asking me to pick up her kids from school the following week. Fine. Mom stopped texting me coupon codes and photos of soups. Fine. Aunt Carol mailed Maya a late birthday card with a $20 bill and a gold sticker. Proud of you, she wrote in shaky cursive. Tell Maya Aunt Carol liked the llama. At school, one of Maya's classmates' moms pulled me aside. That was the nicest party we've ever been to, she said. My son usually hates noise. He stayed the whole time. I cried in my car afterward, where no one could see me but Pepper, who was thrilled about the tissue paper he found in the back seat. July came and went without the lake. My calendar had a clear week where the LBJ house used to be. Leah posted a photo of her kids in a motel pool under a flickering no vacancy sign. The caption said, "Making the best of it." There were no likes from me. On the Saturday, we would have been packing coolers. We did our own version. Evan grilled turkey burgers in our backyard. The little trampoline we bought for Maya sat under the oak tree. She bounced and counted her jumps out loud. 31, 32, 33, she said. Pepper ran circles and tried to steal a sock. I set 2 extra chairs on the patio out of habit. They stayed empty. Tasha came over with her teen and a box of HB cupcakes. She brought paper crowns and wrote Maya on all of them. Anyway, we ate on mismatched plates because ours are always in the dishwasher. Evan turned on the string lights, even though it wasn't dark yet. Inside, Maya showed me a drawing she'd done. 4 stick figures. Me, Evan, Maya, and Pepper with a giant tongue, and 2 more labeled Marcus and TSH. Above them, a banner. Everyone is invited. She had drawn a cake with her name spelled right. She handed it to me like it was fragile. I put it in a simple white frame we picked up from IKEA for diplomas in kid art. I hung it on the wall by the thermostat where people can't miss it when they walk in. No one would scrape her name off here. Mom texted me a picture of a sunset that night. Pretty sky, she wrote. I wrote back very. A beat later, another ping. We miss you. I typed and erased 3 different replies. I settled on, we're here when you're ready to celebrate Maya. This wasn't revenge, it was respect for my kid, for myself. I had one lever and I pulled it. The world didn't end. The house didn't fall. The quiet that settled into our yellow bungalow didn't ask me to pay for it. I sat on the steps and watched Maya bounce and count. And I realized this is what it feels like when the person you have to protect is finally the person you're actually protecting. Evan slid his hand into mine. The stars came out one at a time, like someone opening a drawer full of silver buttons. 39, 40, 41, Maya yelled. We clapped. We kept clapping for our own girl. And no one called that cruel.